Y'all, welcome to Big Motion TV. It's your boy, the biggest of motion. And today we're talking about the Nolan Wells case. What the fuck happened to Nolan Wells, and why is it so damn difficult for people to talk? His friends, people that claim that they're his best friend. Uh, I don't see so many people talk about this. I don't see so many people say their different views. Like Officer Tatum, a lot of people don't like what he's saying. They think he's a sellout. Some people think the friends are telling the truth. Some people think the friends are lying. But I ask this: where's the girl that he's supposed to be with? How come she ain't show up? How come she ain't say nothing? How come she ain't try to come get some of this money grab and have an interview here and there? You know what I'm saying? And then the audio about them talking about if somebody dead in the back of the boat. What's going on with that? It's so many different things. I would like to think it was a mistake. I would like to think it happened like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want make it racial, and is it a racial thing? Yeah, it might be. Most definitely might be. You know what I'm saying? Due to the circumstances and how things going. But it's his homeboys, even his black homeboys, that's falling in. I'm trying to wonder is hey, is this blood sacrifice? Is they going for body parts? Is somebody popular did it and they trying to all hide and don't tell on dude? But I got somebody better here for y'all to break it on down. But this more breaking news today, 3 hours ago. His baby girl Nancy, she gets into us. We're gonna see what Nancy got to say. Check this out.
Wells investigation, a mystery altercation emerges, and not with the guys that took him to the island on the boat. Does this change things? We cannot ignore it. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
If people are sending in videos, they should be using those videos to conduct further investigation.
There is a group of people fighting at 5 p.m. Who are they? Where was he? He wasn't floating in the water. He wasn't on the shore. Tonight, evidence of a so-called mystery altercation is emerging. Straight out to Crime Stories investigative reporter Dave Mack. Dave, what can you tell me first about this so-called mystery altercation? And this is not with the men that went to Horn Island on the boat. You know what? Let me just be clear. Crime Stories is not a symposium, a gathering place for a witch hunt. We want the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells. We are here to convict no one yet. And if evidence of a mystery altercation with other young men arises, we are pursuing it.
Hold up, Nancy. I'm here to convict the son of a bitch that did this to Nolan Wells. So if you ain't convicting him, I'm definitely convicting him. So yeah, I'm here to convict the motherfucker. Goddamn it, we finna find out what's going on. Y'all hang in here with me.
Dave Mack, what do we know about some mystery altercation? We think after the Triton left Horn Island.
Nancy, this is a mystery altercation that is being described through social media as something that took place around 5 p.m. that day. This is 30 minutes after the Triton already left. And in this particular account, a Bertram boat was seen leaving shortly afterward at a high rate of speed. Now, this social media conversation claims that a person, one of the passengers, pretty certain Nolan Wells, was part of a group that was, quote, almost fighting around 5 p.m.
Bip, 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 bip. Whoa, wait. Hold on, Nellie. Did you say 5 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I jumped in, Dave Mack, is because 5 p.m., if Nolan was seen in an altercation at 5 p.m., on Horn Island.
That can't be possible from all the other stories that they told. One dude told a story. He said the last time he seen Nolan was at 3. Then he further on went and said he seen Nolan sitting by the boat, ready to get on, and he told Nolan to get on, and it was like 4:30. So right there, they done got caught up in all type of lies. And now at 5 o'clock, he's in an altercation. Yeah, they fuck ass know something.
That's after the Triton, had already left. Let's see the boat, control room. We're talking about the boat leaving Horn Island. That boat. Had that boat already left when this altercation occurred? Dave Mack, that's a yes, no.
Yes.
Listen.
But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that
They roasting this nigga. Everybody call him Uncle Tom. He just looking for all the reasons why it wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? But let's listen to what this dude got to say.
interview to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Nolan and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated.
Guys, let me first introduce Cheryl McCollum, Colgate's Investigative Research Institute founder. Let that sink in at coldcasecrimes.org. She's a star of a hit podcast that I have listened to on loop, by the way, Cheryl McCollum. And I don't like much of what you're saying, yet I keep listening. Zone 7, she's author of a brand new book, Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, solving the cold case of the Flint River Killer's daughter, and more. But for my purposes tonight, she's a forensics expert. Greg Morse, before I even get to the merits of this, where I meant to go with this is everyone has been focusing on the young men that were on the boat that took him to Horn Island. Then we get this audio that we're trying to corroborate, where seemingly in the background you hear them talking about trying to revive Nolan Wells on the boat. Is that even real? We don't know yet. Or has it been doctored? Trying to find out. I've got experts telling me, renowned experts, by the way, it's real, and renowned experts saying it's not real. It's just like a trial, right? Where it's expert v. expert, who's telling the truth.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about this mystery altercation. If it happened at 5 p.m., that boat was already gone. Now,
Well,
as
you're
much
right.
as some people want to hang the young guys on the boat, I want to make sure we hang the right person. If there is a mystery altercation after that boat lift, we need to be in.
Fuck it, hang them all, goddammit. Something happened to that boy, and everybody playing stupid. You know what I'm saying? This shit gonna be crazy. But just imagine if at the end of this, nobody didn't do nothing to him. All this is crazy. His name been dragged, and his parents been listening to all this for weeks and weeks. Let's get back to it. Carry on.
Investigating that altercation.
Well, you're 100% right, because the 3 young men that are, at least the people are saying, are involved in this, that went there with Nolan Wells, there's a specific timeline
Put
from
him
what
up.
I read.
Put him
They
up.
needed assistance on their boat. They left at 4:30.
You
They had
just
called
gave me
CTO.
a chill
So
down my spine.
if
You
so,
can't
if there
introduce
is
something because people say, I don't care what people say on either side.
No,
They mean nothing to me.
Nancy, that's the problem when we have things like podcasts today and people who are not qualified to talk about serious things like this. They're not experts. They want to get likes. Law enforcement is
Sound like they talk about me. But no, we experts over here, bruh. We finna get down to that. Crime? Yeah, nigga know about crime, bruh.
going to keep information
He
close to the
said he
vest.
saw the DMs. I don't have
Okay,
a
so what does that
reason
mean? That-
to
that's-
think
that's
he
not
didn't
legitimate.
see the DMs. Now,
He-
many people are arguing that he has taken a side. We have not taken a side.
W-
I'm on the side of
what-
finding out why everybody got back to the mainland except Nolan Wells.
Well,
And
listen,
nobody
these
saw
are
anything. Nobody
teenagers.
knows anything. It's just like Tupac Shakur got shot on the strip at
Nancy,
Vegas, and we still
the,
don't know what happened. Nobody saw a thing. That's
these are
BS.
young these are
What?
young men hanging out. It's not unusual one may stay behind to hang out with other people. This is none of that is unusual for teenagers partying
Wait
and
a minute.
having a good time. So that fact
Hey,
alone doesn't
Morse,
mean anything. What
where's your cell phone? Where is your
the
cell phone? And try not to lie. Where's your cell phone?
okay. Right here.
Where's, oh, really? Because here's mine. So
Get him,
you want to
Nazi.
tell me Nolan Wells stayed behind and his cell phone went without him? I understand. Don't everybody start screaming that he didn't want to get it wet. Of course he didn't want to get it wet. But there's ways around that. You can go put it on shore
Sure.
in your shoe like everybody else does to hide it from people.
Is it just me or Nancy Grace got them cougar bedroom eyes? Let me stop.
And then retrieve it when you go. But no,
Well,
he let the boat leave with his phone. I agree with
well,
his mother on that. That is not Nolan Wells. He was never away from his phone.
so that doesn't mean anything in and of itself with what's coming out about this. You know, you're talking about him staying behind. You're talking about there's evidence that he was there after 4:30 p.m. If he's there after 4:30 p.m., Nolan Wells on that island hanging out with other people, that's it. The fact that a cell phone is on a boat and he's not as a teenager doesn't really mean anything at all.
Okay, you know what? I asked you about a mystery altercation.
That's bull motherfucking shit. These motherfuckers, you take one of these kids' phone away for 5 minutes, they be about to faint, go into cardiac arrest. You think this boy is finna just part with his phone and don't, hey, I don't care with my phone at. We're not taking any pictures. He with a girl, he ain't taking no pictures with that girl. Nothing. Just leave my phone.
And should we be looking in that direction right now? And you're like going on and on about the cell phone,
No,
and
but
everybody
that's
that
my
owns a
point.
cell phone,
But
which is everyone,
but
knows you never
Nancy,
leave
that's
without
my
your cell
point.
phone.
You have to look at what really happened. If there was this mystery altercation, then yes, the police need to be investigating that. They need to be looking into that.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought financing and home equity to pay off credit card debt. No American Financing. 86.net at 6 hashtag
God damn it.
what it's worth. Try to get the truth out of what we're hearing. Okay? Listen.
Nolan and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated.
With that, I agree with Tatum. As much as we disagree on practically everything else, if this happened, and forget about the girl, I'm talking about the altercation. Cheryl McCollum, come on. He died.
But Nancy, we cannot forget about the girl. She's the key. That's who he supposedly left everything for and left everybody, and that's who he was with. So we need to hear from this girl. I understand what you're saying, but the girl is definitely key to this case.
Dies. Nobody sees him. The others get back safely. Now we're hearing about an altercation afterwards. And I'm not ruling out that he was on that boat when they left. But now I'm hearing about an altercation. When you can't tell the truth of what's happening, look at who was angry. Look if there was an altercation. I don't know what happened, but when I hear altercation after the Triton left, I've got to go there.
You got to look at it. You absolutely cannot ignore it. But one thing we already know from the second autopsy, they would have mentioned if he had any type of injury to his knuckles, if he had been in a fight. We didn't hear anything about abrasions or bruising or any type of injury that would be indicative of somebody that is a college football player fighting
Whoa.
somebody.
Well,
Okay, now
now, they did find something on the back of his head. You can't get no scuffle marks on your knuckles if you done got whacked in the back of the head or your head face down in some water. But you never know. Never know if he was knocked out before. Never know if he was fighting back or whatever. Because the body was already messed with when they got it. So I don't know, bro.
Now, I have just told everybody that you're a forensic expert. It's starting to taste like a dirt sandwich. Because, okay, I'm going to let you sit in the corner and think about what you just said. Joe Scott Morgan is joining me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. He is a death investigator with over 10,000 death scenes under his belt, deaths of all genre. Joe Scott Morgan, let's refresh Cheryl McCollum's recollection. That's what you say in court
Come on, Joe. Tell us something good, baby.
when obviously the witness is gone off the rails. Your Honor, pause, Your Honor, objection. May I refresh the witness's recollection? In other words, get it together. Don't you remember what we just talked about before you got on the stand, and you give them a piece of paper and go, can we see that the drawings on the autopsy control room? Joe Scott, there's a big, thank you. There's a big honking mark, subcutaneous, deep reddening tissue on his occipital. If I hit somebody in the back of the head, it'd be right there. We don't know what that is.
And that's that part right there. Nigga hit you in the back of that right there. What's that, the Abdullah Ambla? You out of there, bruh. That nigga knock you out hitting you back here. That's why when you be in that MMA, they be like, don't hit in the back of the head. How you gonna have that big ass thing in the back of the head and y'all talking about he ain't got no scruffs on his knuckles?
No, we don't. But to Cheryl's point, she's accurate. And here's why. Because in forensics, it's not just about positive findings, it's also about negative findings, those things that we are absent. So in that report, as she had mentioned, there was no indication that there was any kind of contusions on the hand, the arm, no kind of defensive event like a parry with a forearm, scuffing of the knuckles, that sort of thing. This forensic pathologist that did the second assessment didn't see any evidence of that. And so that's the first place I'm going to go to, aside from not having the actual primary autopsy report that has not been released yet. But you've got an individual that has, in fact, been retained by the family that's making this assessment. And it's a pretty damn thorough assessment, as a matter of fact, based upon many of them that I've read over the years. You don't see any kind of insults to the arms, the hands, anything like this. The one thing about that thing in the back, this focal area that they're talking about is, and I come back to this all the time, Nancy, is that his body, Nolan's body, is in such a state of decomposition to this point that he cannot make a definitive assessment on that area. And he did a multi-layered dissection, which, by the way, according to him, had not been done by the state medical examiner's office in Mississippi. He just went about it a different way. And as a matter of fact, if you like that one, I got another one. The examination that this physician in DC did on Nolan's remains ranks right up there with the most thorough, hear me talking, the most thorough dissection that you can possibly do on human remains. It's the same one that we do on bodies that have died, individuals that have died that have been incarcerated in.
What y'all think, y'all? Think Joe spitting facts? You think this was all just a mistake? All just nothing happened? He just drowned on his own? And it's just discoloration, even though they still can't say how he drowned and where he drowned. But, okay, let's finish listening to Joe.
Custody deaths, you know what all that means, in the back of a cruiser, in a holding cell, in a prison. Those autopsies rank right up there with the most thorough that we can go. It's a very deep dive that they did on his body.
Joe Scott, you are stating that due to the level of decomposition in Nolan Wells's body, that you can't really figure out why his occipital bone area had deep reddening, and that was seen nowhere else in the body. That's because of decomposition. Isn't that true?
Well, it's true in the sense that that's what
Didn't you just say that?
I'm repeating what the physician said in his autopsy report. I didn't do the
So
examination.
then that would be a yes. So
Hold up, is that me or Joe over there trying to get tough with Nancy? I hear a little bass in your voice, Joe.
at that level of decomp
Yeah,
that you're claiming could
that he's
obscure
claiming.
the nature of the deep reddening on
Yeah.
his occipital area,
Yeah.
but yet on the other side of your mouth, you are claiming that even with this intense decomposition, you didn't see evidence of any reddening on his knuckles or any indication of a fight.
She ain't just say that. Look how Joe looking. Yeah.
So you want it two ways. You want to say, decomp, can't tell what that was on the back of his head, but even though he's highly decomposed, I can tell you, he didn't have any reddening on his knuckles. Really?
No.
Because I
Do you
see a
know?
problem with that.
Okay, you've skinned your knee before, right? Okay. If you have an abrasion, that's completely different than a contusion. That means you have scraping and the tearing away of the skin. That's something that's very obvious. And guess what? I've been in enough fist fights in my life
I
that I
said
know what
reddening.
scraping. Right, I know, and you're misstating that
Joe say he done threw enough hands, huh? What y'all think? Joe flogging or what?
because it's not a matter of reddening. When we look at hands, we also look at contact points where people are being abraded as a result of scuffing their hands. That's different than a color discoloration. We're talking about the top layer, the epidermis down to the dermis, is being scraped away. He doesn't see any evidence of that in his
I'm not
autopsy
talking about
report.
a scrape. I'm talking about if he had, for instance, reddening from a welt, the beginnings of a bruise. With that level of decomp, you're telling me you could still make that out?
No, those two things cannot exist in the same universe. You have to have an abraded area, and there would be multiple of them on his hands if he is punching or trying to defend himself. And yes, we can make out bruises. Yeah, we can make out bruises
You
and
don't always have to have
decomposing
scrapes on
bodies.
your hand when you throw a punch. You don't always have to have cuts on your hand when you throw a punch. That's not true.
Well, that sounds mighty convenient if that's the road you want to go down, because I've seen them many
That's what I'm
times.
telling you. What you're saying is mighty darn convenient. That the reddening on the back of his head, can't really tell anything because he's so decomposed, but you can see his hands well enough to know he was not in a fist fight. Yeah,
Right.
that's convenient, Joe Scott.
He
Look,
was not in
I'm
a
not
fist
trying
fight.
to convict anybody. I'm trying to find the truth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to find out if this evidence of an altercation really happened. And to further muddy the waters, now we have more witnesses stating what they saw.
Another report came to me of someone saying that they saw Nolan with a girl, and they believe that they saw Nolan and this girl struggling in the water, not necessarily drowning, but struggling. Like it was obvious enough that the person was concerned when they saw Nolan in the water, and he was with this girl.
You know, that's from Officer Tatum's show. Cheryl McCollum, it seems to me that that's not true. Because don't you think if a witness saw one or two people, quote, struggling in the water, I mean, I would try to help them.
It makes no sense.
And they
That
did
wouldn't
nothing?
be. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't be their focal, that they would pay attention to those two people that are struggling to see, is one going under and not resurfacing? What can we do to help? The idea that they would watch that, see a struggle, and then what? Turn back and finish barbecuing? That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Not at all. So this is a problem, Greg Morse. You're a veteran trial lawyer. We're getting so much information, and a lot of it is inconsistent. And that is why you have cross-examination. So you can test the evidence, test whether it's true under the fire of cross-exam. When you have conflicting stories like this, my instinct is to go with the one that makes the most sense.
We're gonna stop right there. I don't know, man. Shit still suspicious, even though, some people, some of them make good points, but you don't know that who's getting paid. But then again, man, this is just crazy for a normal death. This is the most weirdest normal death I ever ran into. You know what I'm saying? And people erasing their Facebook, their Instagrams, and going through all that, and you ain't got nothing to hide. Smell horse shit. But this is your boy Big Motion. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. We got some more on this coming. I'll probably drop another one tomorrow. With something else with a dude that he interrogates people for the United States. He looks at this and looked at his friend that got interrogated, and he had a lot of interesting things to say. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe. It's your boy, Biggest Emotion. Peace.